Good evening and welcome to the Cardinal Way for Men Live. My name is Ed Cardinal. I could have easily done another Lessons from the Trail tonight. As you can see, took a little digger during my trail run this morning, and I guess the big takeaway for me was be present, stay in the moment, and when I don't, I fall. But instead, I am going to discuss midlife crisis, and this topic actually came up because I recently asked men that I know the question about what are the topics, what are the challenges that men between the ages of 40 and let's say 60, what are they dealing with? What are they challenged with? And one of them said a midlife crisis. So I started to think more about this, and basically midlife crisis is men during that time period between 40 and 60 start to take stock in their life, look back at their life, not only in the past, but look at their life now and what they've accomplished in a lot of different aspects of their life. And I'm gonna talk about three in particular, and question whether they're happy in those different aspects of their life, and if they're not, what they need to do to change. And the number one aspect I want to talk about is physical changes that happen with men as we get older. More wrinkles, thinning hair, graying hair. And for me, I noticed recently decreased testosterone levels, muscle mass decreases. And this happens from the age of the mid-20s through the rest of your life. About 1 to 2% testosterone level drops each year after your peak years. So that's something that I noticed. So it reminds us men that we're not young anymore. We're moving farther away from the day we were born and closer to the last day of our life. And for some men, that can be quite daunting, quite challenging to think about that, particularly if you're not happy with your physical body and where you're at with your physical body. The way I look at it, and I've noticed, besides the testosterone levels, it takes me longer to recover from workouts. But I don't let that bother me. I'm happy with what I can do, and I think that is the whole perspective that is challenging for men when they start to take stock and start to look at their life. Is it all depends on your mindset and where you're coming from. Are you looking at the negative, or are you looking at what you are grateful for and what you should be grateful for and what you can be grateful for? So as far as the physical changes that are taking place within my body that are normal and natural, I look at the things I can still do. I'm still working out at the gym. I'm still trail running. And I feel good when I do those things. I might not be as fast as I used to be, but I can still do them, so I'm happy about that. Number two is career dissatisfaction. There are some men who spend their whole life in the same career and are unhappy, maybe because of fear of not being able to make the same amount of money that they're making, or that they might not be happy in whatever they choose to do after that. I know for me in the past, I was at this point, and it was actually in my mid-30s when I was not happy. I was in the counseling profession, and I was not particularly happy with what I was doing. So I made a career change, and I went back to school, and then I became a physical therapist. So I was able to make that change. We have a tendency sometimes to not take that leap of faith and not make those changes because of fear, because of the uncertainty, because it's uncomfortable. Have you ever experienced this in your life, that dissatisfaction with a job and not leaving and making a change because of fear of the uncertainty or the leaving the safety net of what it is that you're doing? I know a lot of men fall into this category. And at number 3 is unfulfilled dreams, that bucket list. Looking at your bucket list and look at how many things you've been able to check off and how many things you haven't, and where you're at with that. I know for me, I've done a lot in my life. I'm so grateful. There are a lot of things I still want to do. I still want to do a lot more travel. In particular, that's a big one. Not traveling as much as I used to, but I know that we still want to do some traveling. And I know with a dog now, with our puppy, that kind of changes things, but that we can't let that stop us. So yeah, so those unfulfilled goals, those unfulfilled dreams can lead to some men's dissatisfaction, unhappiness, and what some would consider a midlife crisis. So those are the 3 that I wanted to discuss tonight. So your personal health and the changes that are happening in your own body. Number 2 is a career dissatisfaction or satisfaction. And number 3, your dreams, your goals, your desires. Where are you at with those? And again, if you're feeling like you're in a midlife crisis, see if you can shift your mindset and your thinking about the things that you're unhappy with. I didn't talk about a whole host of other things, like relationships and a lot of other things, but I wanted to keep it to 3. So I hope this was helpful, and please share this with a man if you're a woman seeing this, a man in your life, or for the men who are watching this and listening to it. Share this with a friend or a male friend or family member. And until you see me again, be well. Take care. Have a great night. Bye-bye.